Okay, class, this is the 2017 free response question number 1. The class is called Digits. All right, this question involves identifying and processing the digits of a non-negative integer. The declaration of digits class is shown below. You will write the constructor and one method for digits for the digits class. Okay, so you got digits. You've got a digit list array list, and it's going to hold integers. Now, quickly, let's go back here to I gave you guys this array list 1 activity, and it's just highlighting the important things about array lists. You'll notice array lists hold objects. So for example, private array list clown. The clown is the object, and it's going to hold clowns. Clowns are the object, but the class is clown. All right. The clowns list must contain only clown objects. All right. An attempt to add an acrobat to the list will cause a compile time error. All right. So what's with this integer right here? Well, integer is an object. You cannot hold primitive data types like int or double in an array list. Now don't get that confused, because we are going to hold integers and doubles in there, but they're going to be held as like integer objects and double objects, all right? In order to store numbers, you must box numbers in wrapper classes like integer or double. Okay, this is known as auto boxing. For example, we've got integers, a list of new integers, okay? Then we can add information to them, and you're going to want to make sure you read this before you do this and understand them. You got to get the size. You can get each element of the array list. You can set it, and this is just a way to add it in a certain, add an element into a certain index position. And you can remove information from the array list, all right? So go back to this if you need to, all right? So constructs digits objects that represent num. All right, so let me see here. Let's go down and read A. Write the constructor for digits class. The constructor initializes and fills digit list with the digits from the non-negative integer number. The elements in digit list must be integer objects representing single digits and appear in the same order as the digits in num. Each of the following examples show the declaration of, okay. So we've got our number 15701, and we're needed to display like this, okay? So remember, let's think about this real quick, okay? Let me pull up my sketch screen. All right, so remember dot add adds to, now whatever you're adding to it, right? It adds to position 0. Okay, so let's say I add, let's say I've got dot add, and let's say I'm just able to strip out like 0, 1, dot add, 5, dot add, 7. Now we're not going to be able to do it like this, but I'm just trying to demonstrate what I'm thinking here. Add 0 and 4. Okay, this would put it up as, this would be in position 1, position 0, and 1 would go there, and then it would add 5 in to position 0, and now we've got something going on like this, which should be in position 2. and then 0, 7, 5, 1. And then what would the last one would be 4, 0, 7, 5, 1. So if you were to do it like this, you would actually write it backwards. Now, we can't do it like this, and it would go backwards. So that's not what we're wanting to do. We are going to want to do an add, but you're not going to be able to add it in like this. You actually have to pass it in like this. You have to grab that first. So it'd be like this: 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. So we'd put 4 in there, and then 4. Sorry, then we have 0, 4, and then we would have 7, 0, 4. And then we have 5, 7, 0, 4. And then we'd have 1, 5, 7, 0, 4. So that's kind of how we want to do it. We would start with this, and then we would do this, and then this, this, this. Okay? That's how the add method works. Now we got to devise a strategy on how to pull that off. Okay? So let's go to our notepad file. Okay, and this is actually easier. This is actually a pretty easy program right here. So DigitList equals new ArrayList integer. It's going to hold integer objects. So if num is equal to 0, then DigitList.add a new integer. We're adding just 0 to it, okay? All right, so if num is 0, we're just adding a new integer 0 to a list, okay? And then we've got to have a while loop because we got to be able to go through each. We got to go through each value of num to strip that back part off. And the way that you would do that is, let's think about this real quick. All right, so we got one. What was it again? I think it was 15704. Okay, so we want to isolate that. So the way to do that is you would do modulus. And how many times does 10 go into it? It would be 1570. That gives me 5700, and you got remainder 4. So that just strips that. Yeah, that strips that 4 off. Okay, so let's do that. So DigitList.add, and we'll just say we're doing this in position 0. There's a couple ways you could do this. This is the fastest way though. And then we'll say new integer, and we'll take num modulus 10, and that stripped that out. Now what we want to do is we want to take that. Now we want to take that 15704 and we want to get rid of it. So we could do 15704 divided by 10, and that will give us 1570. Okay. Okay, let's do that. So now all we need to do is num divided by equals 10, and that strips off that, and that's it. And it'll do this until num is 0, and then it'll be done. Okay, so that's pretty easy. And we also tested for this one too. If it's 0, then we add 0 to it. All right, next up, write the digits method is increasing. Okay. Is strictly increasing. The method returns true if the elements of the digit list appear in increasing order. Otherwise, it returns false. A list is considered strictly increasing if each element after the first is greater than but not equal to the preceding element. The following table shows the results of several calls to is strictly increasing. Okay, so only one element that's increasing because it's not decreasing, all right? This one goes from 1, 3, 5, 6, that's increasing. This goes 1, 3, 3, that's not increasing, so that's false. 1, 5, okay, so that's false and false. Those are all, that's pretty easy. All right, so then, let's see if there's any other, no. Should be easy to do. All right, so we got to return true or false here because it's a Boolean. So we got to be able to go through this entire loop. So we got 4. Start with int I equals 0, and then I is less than the digit list dot size minus 1. I plus plus. Size works exactly like length with strings, only it's size with array lists. And we'll say return true if none of these get hit, okay? And if they do, then will be false. So if they just run through each of them and it's fine. Okay, so now we have to have if whatever's in our digit list, we got to get what's at position I and dot int value. Now int value, you could do this without int value, I believe, but what int value does is let's go back to this right here. Remember, array lists only hold integers. Well, they only hold objects. Okay, and so they're auto-boxed, okay? And so what we're doing here is something called unboxing. All right, you're unboxing it and checking to see if it's greater than, you're taking, this returns your integer, this returns the integer at position I, okay, the integer object, and this gives me the int value. It's checking the int value to see if the int value is greater than or equal to the digit list dot get at position I plus 1 dot int value, and again that unboxes it so that's, you know, when I get it here, it's an integer object, but when I do int value, it unboxes it to an integer primitive data type. So if that is greater than the next spot over, okay, then it's not increasing. So we would just do return false here. So if it doesn't hit any of these right here, it's just true. All right, so that's it. Pretty easy program, pretty straightforward.